Hello. Um, this video, I like to explore about the Howard season from September to November, and um, and just recently, the 11th of September passed, and as we look over to the 9/11 tribute and light this year in the 11th September. So there were two lights beams like going upwards to the sky, and that really caught my attention because there are so much meanings of the 9/11 attack in relation to the end times and biblical prophecies. And it is very interesting to see that the lights are reaching up towards the sky, and this is relating to Genesis chapter 11. Genesis chapter 11 talks about it is related to the 9/11 attack, and you can see that it ends on verse 9. The Tower of Babel, where is actually referring to, I believe, from this month onwards, September onwards to November would be a really huge time of the return of the Lord Jesus Christ. And the reason I'm saying this, we'll be exploring a series of information which I'll be presenting in a series of videos, and they are the primary bases, secondary bases, and all the clockwork methods that I'm going to introduce. And I wrote a book where it could be downloaded on the website, where the link would be in the description box. But anyways, the in the back in the time of the crucifixion, I want to highlight, before getting into the main section, well, at the time of Jesus' crucifixion, at around 11 o'clock, there was a thief, and Jesus said to the thief, "I tell you the truth, today you will be with me in paradise." And the thief here is very important because the thief is representing something. There was a reason for that. It was not a murderer, it was not an idolater or adult like anything. But he was like a thief, so there was a purpose behind that, and he was hitting at 11 o'clock, which I'll be explaining the importance of the month of November this year. And it's very interesting to see that says you will be with me in paradise, where it's pointing to time of the rapture. But anyway, with the 9/11 lights, it's just so obvious that you could see it's the number 11 just reaching to the sky, and so, and also in this introduction video, I would like to explore about the importance of knowing the barley brides and the wheat brides. When we see in Revelation chapter 6 verse 6, is talked about the barley and the wheat. So basically barley normally matures faster than the wheat, and these two groups are representing two different groups of the bride, but they're still the bride of Christ. And it's very important to know this because there's gonna be two separate groups in the coming days in regards of the transformation of the bride. And it might not sound familiar to you, but it's all about patterns. If you read the scriptures, the especially crucifixion of Christ, where he had his 3 days of burial, and he was transfigured after the 3 days of burial, and he had the 40 days of ministry before his ascension. And so this a brief picture of representing what happened in the past will repeat nowadays. And the 3 days of burial represents the 3 days of darkness that's coming, which must happen before the time of the rapture. In this, I will be going further into Revelation chapter 6 in regard to the sixth seal, which I'll be explaining later. But then he was transfigured after the 3 days of burial, representing the barley bride's transformation. And then it's like the 40 days ministry, and that's representing the pregnancy pattern. And that's why we could see the importance of September to November echoing to 9/11, which I'm going to explain further about that. But the ascension is representing the rapture of the bride, including the transformation of the wheat brides. So the first one, for the barley brides were it's not a rapture because there's only a single rapture, but there's gonna be brides who will make it to that time and will be able to participate in the coming harvest of the approximate 40 days of ministry around the globe, and where they're gonna participate a great soul harvest that's coming. But anyway, I just wanted to say this because it's very important to note that there must be some events that happen before the ascension pattern of Jesus. And so anyway, this is the Jewish calendar. So we'd like to say that Israel is always the gauge, and the Gregorian calendar that most people use today must never be the primary source of the timing of the return of Jesus. And so this one, in with the Jewish calendar, this is actually just one of out of a more complete picture, because this calendar that we're seeing right now is not the only source that we must be using in order to get the timing correctly, but it's still to be used. And so I will be continuing the next video, and that's gonna be the main part, but like to kind of introduce the content of what I'm gonna say. So it's gonna be gonna talk about the 7 years of tribulation from 2012 to 2020, and the Song of Solomon season, the 15 core primary clockwork methods, 7 major secondary clockwork methods, and 3 minor tertiary clockwork methods, and the first primary basis of the Song of Solomon chapter 2 season, the second one, Matthew 24 of Christ's return season, the third one about Matthew 25 and Exodus 12 midnight hour, the fourth one is the Eve marker, the fifth one is about Pi, 9/11, F9, 67, IDs of March, and about the doors. The sixth one, it's about the 3 pi marker. The seventh one about the Euler's number marker. The eighth one is about the 4 quadrant equation. The ninth one is the Pentecostal 7777 marker. The 10th one is about Genesis chapter 5 verse 24 of Enoch's translation. The 11th one is about world events and clock's world map. The 12th one is about Acts chapter 27, 3 Paul shipwrecks clues. The 14th is about the 4 blood moons tetrad of 2014 to 2015. The 14th one is about the barley and wheat harvest season. And the first secondary method is about equalizing days by Hanukkah and in regards of F22. And second secondary method is about Passover, Pentecost, Sukkot boundaries. And the last one, third secondary method, would be the 10 Commandments analogy. So I'm gonna cover that, but not in this video, and so hope you stay tuned.